What comes to mind when you think of healthy foods? For many people, one item always seems to pop up: eggs. They're high in protein, rich in nutrients, and simple to prepare. But did you know that if you're not eating them the right way, they could be doing more harm than good, especially as you age? Hello, I'm Dr. Richard Coleman. I've spent more than 50 years in the field of internal medicine, working with thousands of older adults. Even today, at 89 years old, I still visit senior living communities every week to help patients live longer, healthier lives. One of the most common questions I get is, what's your secret to aging well? And while there are many factors, I'll tell you one thing. Eggs have played an important role in my diet, but not just any kind of eggs, and certainly not prepared just any way. There's a very specific method I follow. And today, I want to share with you exactly what I've learned about eggs over 5 decades of treating seniors. If you're over 60 and you eat eggs regularly, you need to hear this message, because the way you eat them could be silently undermining your health, even if your intentions are good. So please watch this video all the way to the end. And while you're here, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. You'll be supporting a community where seniors get accurate, practical health advice rooted in medical experience. Let's get into it. Why eggs can be both hero and villain after age 60. Eggs are incredibly nutrient-dense. They contain high-quality protein, vitamin D, choline, omega-3 fatty acids, lutein, and more. For younger people with healthy digestion and robust immune systems, they're almost always a good choice. But here's the problem. Your body changes with age, and that changes how your body responds to foods, especially eggs. Let me tell you the story of Mr. Edward Barnes, an 81-year-old former engineer from Pennsylvania. Edward had been eating soft-boiled eggs every morning for nearly 30 years. He thought he was doing the right thing, keeping it light, high in protein, easy on the stomach. But last year, he ended up in the hospital with a serious salmonella infection. It turned out he had been consuming eggs slightly past their expiration date. His immune system wasn't what it used to be, and the bacteria overwhelmed his body. So what's the lesson? Even healthy habits can turn dangerous if we don't adapt them to our age. 5 egg mistakes that could be harming your health, especially after 60. Let's dive into the most common mistakes I've seen seniors make with egg consumption, and what you should do instead. 1. Eating only egg whites on an empty stomach. It's a common myth. Throw away the yolk to avoid cholesterol. But this is a dangerous oversimplification, especially for older adults. Egg whites contain avidin, a protein that binds to biotin, also known as vitamin B7, and prevents its absorption. Biotin is crucial for nerve function, cognitive health, and energy metabolism. A deficiency can lead to fatigue, numbness, even symptoms that resemble depression or early-stage dementia. Now imagine this. 79-year-old Mrs. Ellen Morris came to me complaining of chronic fatigue and tingling in her hands. Her labs were normal, but when I asked about her diet, she told me she ate only egg whites every morning on an empty stomach. Once we reintroduced the yolks and adjusted the timing of her meals, her symptoms gradually faded. Practical fix. Always eat the entire egg, yolk included. Never eat eggs on an empty stomach. Pair them with whole grains or vegetables to support digestion and absorption. A safe amount for most seniors? About 5 to 7 eggs per week. 2. Eating raw or undercooked eggs. Raw eggs may seem like a time saver or a throwback to the Rocky Balboa days, but they are not safe for older adults. Raw eggs pose 2 major risks. Salmonella bacteria, which can cause dangerous infections, especially in seniors. The avidin protein in raw egg whites remains fully active and blocks biotin absorption more aggressively than when cooked. Take the example of 84-year-old Mr. James Porter, a retired boxer. He had a tradition of mixing raw eggs into his morning protein shake. That habit eventually led to severe biotin deficiency and gut imbalances, making him vulnerable to both infection and malnutrition. Back-end index pointing right, practical fix. Always cook eggs thoroughly to 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius. Boil eggs for 9 to 12 minutes until the yolk is fully set. Avoid soft-boiled, poached, or runny eggs unless you're confident they're pasteurized and fresh. 3. Combining eggs with certain medications. This is a big one. Eggs can interfere with common medications in ways most people don't realize. For example, vitamin K in egg yolks can counteract blood thinners like warfarin, increasing the risk of clots or bleeding. Calcium and iron in eggs can bind with antibiotics like tetracycline, reducing their effectiveness. Egg whites can block iron absorption, worsening anemia. Case in point, 76-year-old Mrs. Laura Chun was taking iron supplements for anemia but wasn't seeing any improvement. We discovered she was eating eggs with her pills every morning. Once we spaced the two out by several hours, her iron levels finally started to climb. Back-end index pointing right, practical fix. Take medications 2 to 4 hours apart from egg consumption. Always consult your doctor or pharmacist about possible food-drug interactions. 4. Eating eggs between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. Did you know your body produces the most cortisol early in the morning? Cortisol is a natural stress hormone that helps wake you up, but it also raises cholesterol levels. When you combine high cortisol with dietary cholesterol from eggs, especially fried eggs, your risk for cardiovascular problems increases. 82-year-old Mr. Howard Green used to eat fried eggs at 6 a.m. every day. His cholesterol levels soared, and he was later hospitalized with a minor heart attack. Simply shifting his egg consumption to the afternoon, combined with a better cooking method, made a dramatic difference in his follow-up labs. Practical fix. The best time to eat eggs? Between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. This is when digestion is strongest and cholesterol synthesis is at its lowest. Always pair eggs with fiber-rich vegetables like spinach, onions, or broccoli to support heart health. 5. Frying eggs in high-temperature oil. Frying eggs may be delicious, but it's one of the worst ways to prepare them for seniors. Here's why. High heat denatures proteins, making them harder to digest. Overheated oils produce toxic compounds like aldehydes and acrylamide. Important nutrients like choline, essential for brain health, are destroyed at high temperatures. 80-year-old Mrs. Sylvia Dean had been eating fried eggs every day and developed chronic gastritis. She thought it was aging, but it turned out the fried eggs were irritating her stomach lining. Back-end index pointing right, practical fix. Cook eggs by boiling, steaming, or poaching at low temperatures. Avoid using a microwave. Uneven heating can damage protein and even pose an explosion risk. Use anti-inflammatory spices like turmeric or parsley when preparing eggs to boost brain and gut health. Final thoughts. How to make eggs your ally in healthy aging. Eggs can either be your body's best friend or your silent enemy, depending on how you prepare and consume them. Let's review the 5 mistakes you must avoid. Skipping the yolk and eating egg whites on an empty stomach. Eating raw or undercooked eggs. Taking medications too close to egg consumption. Eating eggs early in the morning when cortisol is high. Cooking eggs at high temperatures or frying in oil. If you follow these principles, eggs can become one of the most powerful tools for healthy aging. They support your brain, bones, muscles, and immune system. They're also easy to digest if prepared correctly. Even at 89, I make it a point to boil 2 eggs every other afternoon, pair them with a bowl of spinach, and enjoy them with a slice of whole grain toast. It's a simple routine, but over decades, simple routines make all the difference. So here's your challenge. Tomorrow, boil your eggs, eat them with veggies in the afternoon, and skip the frying pan. Small changes, big results. If this video helped you, be sure to click like and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with someone who needs this information, especially if they're over 60. In the next video, I'll be sharing 5 foods you should eat every day after 65 to support heart and brain health. You won't want to miss it. Until then, be well, stay smart, and here's to your healthy, active life well into your 90s and beyond.